Hi, everyone. This is Caroline with the Expat Interviews, Thriving Abroad, where I get the unique opportunity to go all over the globe and meet the most amazing, beautiful, interesting people. And they share their stories of their life abroad, their transition, and other good things in between. I'm so excited today because we're going to share a story with you with someone who is kind of unique in the expat form. And when I say unique, it's unique because we don't really talk about this segment of the expats, and it's something that we're really going to dig into and get to know, because when you hear about it, you're going to be like, oh yeah, never thought about that. So I want to welcome my special guest, Ardrina. Ardrina, thank you so much for joining me. And
thank you.
And what we're going to talk about, before I begin, I want to thank you so much for your service. Thank you. Thank you so much. What we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about being a veteran and moving abroad. And I said all that, fancy introduction because, a lot of vets, I think that we're going to talk specifically about in the USA, that are out of the service perhaps. And, they're trying to find their way too. And they may have unique needs that most people don't even think about. Like there may be things that you're going to share with us that, wow, I didn't think that veterans would have those particular types of needs. So first of all, just tell us a little bit about where you're from and what branch of the service were you serving in?
Okay, so I say that I'm originally from California. My family, when I was birthed, they were in the Bay Area. They had come from Little Rock, Arkansas, many, many moons ago. And so I've lived pretty much all throughout California, central, northern, and as well as southern. And that's where my military career basically was. So I was stationed in San Diego, United States Navy. I was a shipboard electrician. So I spent 5 years on board a ship, an amphibious ship, and our purpose was to transport Marines to and fro. So I deployed 3 times in the 5 years, taxiing Marines to Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran. I also participated in piracy in Africa. Well, that was more EOD, so that really wasn't Marine Corps. And I did 8 years down in San Diego, so 5 years on board a ship. And then the rest was on shore duty, where I ended up getting into procurement for pretty much a credit card buyer for my command. In 2010, I got out. I originally enlisted for 5 years because I got a sign-on bonus, but I was able to drop that and get another sign-on bonus. And then I ended up doing an additional 4 years because basically when you sign up for the military, you are obligated to 8 years. Most do 4 years active, and then they do the rest inactive, which is where we get a lot of reservists. And so I completed all 8 years active duty. Being in, I knew that I didn't want to do. Once I was done.
You're done. Yeah, you didn't want to have to deal with it after. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I thought that you had 4 years and then the option of being in the reserves. Wow.
No, you owe them 8 years.
Wow, very interesting. 4
active and 4 inactive.
Now, you were an electrician. Is that something that was common among women sailors?
No, not common, though there were women electricians on board my ship. I had our ship was pretty small, so our electrical team wasn't that massive, But at any given time, there were between 2 to 3 females at a time in a shop of maybe 15 electricians.
So being on a ship that long, there must have been, you know, some moments, or many moments perhaps, where you just feel different. You feel like you're out of body. You must have really unique experiences being on the water that long. Can you talk to that?
Wow. Okay. Now I'm going back to like 2004, 2005 here. Wow, that's almost 20 years. Okay. So
I was just saying, from, you know, in it, generally speaking, you know, was it I guess the right way to ask you is, was it a big adjustment being on the water? As
oh no,
to,
it's a perfect question. It was just me having to go back. You know, I haven't thought about this.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about this at all.
Yeah, I'm digging, yeah.
And so, yes, it was. I didn't know what I was signing up for. I didn't understand it. And so I remember we were stationed, like I said, we were stationed in San Diego. And there's like this bridge, actually Coronado Bridge. And so you go under that bridge, and it's like, when you go past that bridge, you know, like, oh, this is it. We're going. When you come through that bridge, it's like, we made it, right? So my first deployment, leaving through that bridge, I had this emotion around me. I actually had tears, didn't really understand the tears. And it was more so not that I was leaving where I was coming from. I didn't know where I was going. You don't know where you're going. Actually, when I left the ship and I went to shore duty, I actually got secret orders because I had a secret clearance. And so I had got secret orders to AFG, which is Afghanistan. And I didn't even know where I was going. And so it's that, you know, that the unknown, the uncertainty that we deal with just in everyday life, we deal with an uncertainty. And so it was more with that. Deploying also gave me, I mean, I used it often as opportunities to where when things, like I would look forward to deployments when things weren't going well at home or something like that. It was like an escape. Being inside the ship, yeah, it could feel like, you know, it's a different thing, especially when you're out in the water and you see nothing around you.
But
just
water.
Straight blue water. It can be nerve-wracking. And then you're confined to this moving vessel, you know, and depending on what type of vessel it is, depends on how big that vessel is. And so it definitely, at first, it was the unknown, but like my second and third deployment, like I said, I end up looking forward to those moments to just disengage from America.
So how long have you been out now that you're out of the service? For how many years?
So I completed my 8 years in October 2010. I went in December, but I sold back. I forgot what it's called. You can either you can use, like, you have I don't know what they're called, but you have these days where you can sell back to the military, or you can take them. So some people, they'll sell them back, which meant that I would stay in until November 30th, but I would get all of that money plus, you know, my income, or I can sell that. Oh no, I won't get it. You know, I don't even know how it goes. I just know that instead of me getting out November 30th, I got out at the beginning, I think October 2nd or October 10th of 2010.
So you're out, and what I really wanted a lot of people to understand, and I know a lot of the veterans will understand this, some of the challenges that come up after you're out? Because the challenge, you know, you get in and you're done, finished, good to see you, goodbye. But then another set of challenges pops up after you're out. Can you just speak on some of the issues that your fellow vets are, and maybe not into such great detail, but for example, we know that there's a huge population of people that are looking to move abroad, right? Whether it be to Mexico, to England, to wherever it may be, they're looking to change their life. They want a different lifestyle, not necessarily for bad, right? Because they're leaving bad, but they just want something different. What is the experience? I'm sure there's got to be a different experience as a vet leaving the country that you defended, that you were there day in, day out. You gave your life, well, didn't give your life, but you risked your life to protect. What is it like to leave and go somewhere else?
Okay, so before I get into that, I want to, I guess, maybe create this distinction, because I'm currently experiencing someone, right? We're just enjoying our time together. Also a veteran, did 21 or 22 years. I had actually got out when he was in Germany, lived in Germany for a few years, decided to get back in and end up, you know, and he would have stayed in, right? He loved serving. So I think for someone who has appreciated America like that, who loves being American, who loves serving, their transition out is going to be totally different. Sometimes unknowingly, because this person actually don't know, or they don't see the connection that the mind and the body have. And I think when you're in the military, because everything is mind over matter, mind over matter, mind over matter, you know, you get this idea that, okay, once I get my mind and I figure this out, let me see, how can I say this? I don't know why I'm thinking of the word rain, but like, it doesn't have, once I do mind over matter, it's no longer here. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mind has total reign, total control over this. And that is true. Your mind does control your body, but your body keeps score. And that's something that we don't recall. So for me, it was a rough transition out of the service. I had been wanting to leave since 2010, but that's also because of my last tour that I did was piracy in Africa. So basically I was killing my own people, you know, in the name of democracy. Because yes, they were hijacking American cruise ships. You know, that's a real thing. Though I didn't know the backstory. So I think, you know, to just start off, it's different for every veteran. And so for me, I did not know that I was depressed. I did not know that I had anxiety. I did not know that my body even needed time adjusting until I got out. And I was thinking of going to Jamaica when I first got out, because I was dating someone over there. And then I found out that, well, I used to go visit my grandfather when I was younger. So I always thought he was Jamaican. And Jamaica, they allow up to, maybe it's 7 generations. And then you can get citizenship, or it's 10 generations or something like that. So I was going to do that, but I was not mentally ready. I didn't realize how much of American that I was. And if you're gung-ho, America is great, America is this, then there's this potential that when you go to these countries, even if I guess I've been told that third world country, yeah, is no longer the political correct thing. I don't know, it's another term for it. But I think that, you know,
developing country.
Thank you. Developing countries, I don't really think that a lot of us are ready to appreciate what a developing country has. And so I think, you know, when it comes to veterans, because we are trained a certain way, we are taught to think a certain way, we essentially become these robots. And if you're not aware that you've been turned into a robot, I totally forgot the question, but that's, I guess, where I'm going to go. Hopefully I touched on
yes
what you wanted.
Yes, in a roundabout way you did.
My bad.
No, but it's good. So basically what you're saying is, and I think it's pretty basic and elementary, that many veterans have a lot of deep-rooted issues once you've left the service that sometimes you don't even realize that they're there. And so how do we, and I know, I mean, I do have a cousin. One of my first cousins was he was in Nam, and I know he had a set of issues, and to this very day, and Nam has been over since Jesus was a baby, and he still has those issues today.
Yes.
And I understand because he explained a lot of it to me. Do you feel that there are veterans that are leaving without having the proper care, or do you feel like them leaving will provide them maybe an outlet for proper care?
That is, wow, that's a great question. One, it's very interesting. It all depends on the individual. I have met veterans being here, and they could do more work on themselves. They think that, because even I thought this when I was talking about going to Jamaica, if I just leave, everything would be good, this, but I did not know what was going on with me. I literally went through periods of insomnia.
You don't know what you don't know.
No, you don't. And when I got out, I remember just being, right? I was sleeping a lot. I wasn't engaging, friends and stuff a lot, but I was thinking that I served 8 years. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Like, my military experience versus the person that I'm dating, who's a retired veteran, are on complete opposites. They loved their military experience. They would have did 30, but they got out because of dealing with pretty much the children of today. Those mouths can go. So they got out because they were just like, no, this is what I cannot do. And so it varies per person. But what I would say is that just go talk to someone, even if you don't even think that you need it, because sometimes we don't think that we need it. We don't know what we're thinking is a commonality.
Yep.
Not to take away from
right.
anybody's story or journey, but you're not alone in what you're experiencing. It may not look the same as the person sitting next to you because there are nuances. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, what your body is experiencing, we only have so many emotions. We only have so many chemicals. But when you think about the experiences we can have as a human, golly, that number is just vast. But we don't have a vast amount of chemicals. The body is the body is, okay? It's going to be the same. Every person that's born is going to have the same chemicals. I mean, give or take.
Physiologically,
so,
right? Yeah.
I think it, please.
Well, I just want to say that you're right. It's very complex, and we don't have the time. I mean, you and I, this is a conversation that could be literally hours long to go through the whole, and maybe one of these days
me. It's no, because I can talk, so please.
Well, no, what I wanted to say is this, I just thought of this might be a really great opportunity to do something a little bit beyond this. But what I wanted to say now in the brief time that we have is you are actually thinking of or planning to do something that I feel is of such great benefit to your fellow vets, as far as maybe helping with the transition from where they are to living abroad. Is that something that we can put out there that you're open to, if there are fellow vets that are watching that are, probably wondering, how do I navigate through all of these things? Because I'm sure there's benefits, there's healthcare, there's issues, there's mental, there's physical, there's all kinds of, it's a big package. And they're not maybe sure how to navigate that. And honestly, someone like yourself would be the one to help them, because you've been there and done that, as opposed to just any relocation expert who has no idea what all of the nuances is of this, of this type of a transition. Are you, open to helping others?
I'm glad that you asked that, because I recently assisted a veteran in getting here. We connected online, retired Army, and I was not expecting to be as involved as I was with her. Though when I first came, if something like that was available, I would have appreciated it. And so I think, yes, there will be something soon coming to where I'm going to assist veterans more so in getting acclimated. I think I can give you, the basic rundown, but every veteran has different needs. And so I do know.
Can we break that down into male and female, right? I mean, are they kind of unique with their needs as well, or are a lot of them kind of crossover? Would you say?
I would say.
I mean, are you willing to work with both?
They can be.
Question.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I believe it's just on a human level, a veteran type level. And of course, depending on, because they're coming from military, they could be in the mindset that women don't, it can be that, because I've dealt with that before. Hey, he's so adorable. Sorry, I just seen a baby. He's so adorable. But yes, I would be open to doing that, because, well, here in Mexico, I wouldn't be able to do it for a lot of countries, I would say. But if I had one mention for veterans, if they're concerned about the health, the medical, things like that, look for countries that are participants in the Foreign Medical Program, FMP.
Foreign Medical Program, FMP, okay.
And what that does is you pretty much, if you are service connected, and this is only for service connected individuals, unfortunately. So you can even be 0% service connected. And that's the thing about the ratings. Just as long as you get that service connected rating, it can be 0, it can be 100%, it doesn't matter. But if you have medical issues or things that you need to take care of in a country such as Mexico, you would pay out of pocket, and then you would send that pretty much bill to the VA. But for veterans, knowing how the VA works, payment can take forever. So be mindful of that. But that is an opportunity for you. Also, if you can look for, maybe it's medical centers. I don't know what it is, because I know like Puerto Rico has a medical center, Costa Rica has a medical center. Mexico may be getting one soon, because they have a lot of veterans, I think, in PV. And if they have so many military veterans, and they will create, and so I think, so Mexico is soon to be next in having a medical facility. And so getting to the medical facility wouldn't even be much because, you know, in-country flights, they range from,
they're very cheap.
What I've seen,
yep.
like $10 to $40, depending on how you want to travel, you
yep.
know?
Yep.
So yeah, I would say that I can assist someone. And so, like I said, I met this person at the airport. They end up having multiple panic attacks during their transition here because it's a lot. It's a lot already as a person to relocate and move to another country. But I feel that it's even more as someone who may be moving about as a robot. I mean, I guess all Americans can be dealing with that, though one who has maybe the mental and physical disabilities. I'm 100% permanent and total. I was given 100% in April 2020, and that's pretty much from my depression and my anxiety. I am diagnosed with those two, to where back in the day, they used to be debilitating. And when I say debilitating, there is a time frame that I cannot tell you what happened in my life. Okay, I was safe because I had just got my apartment. But between April, May, and June of when I first moved into that apartment, those months are gone. I don't even have Facebook posts to sit here and even remind me of where I possibly was, you know what I'm saying, during that time. And so that I realized, helping this veteran, I can hold space. And even in the midst of my own triggers, I can hold space because I was triggered, you know.
Oh, that's
it was
beautiful.
Some other things.
Yeah.
It was some other things going on. But I had to, I didn't have to. I wanted to.
And I'm really excited. I'm really excited, especially you gave such a beautiful message on Memorial Day. And it triggered me to thinking how beautiful it would be to have someone to just.
It doesn't change.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Listen, you are still, at the end of the day, I don't identify as a patriot. I don't. I'm not even going to sit here and sugarcoat it. But at the end of the day, I serve this country, and there are things that are instilled in me that are still going to be a representation of that. How can I coexist in a world that is not like the world I come from? And that's what it's really about. And that, because this is also why I want to do this. And this can be, people can take it how they want to take it, but it is what it is. What I hate for us to see is bring our toxic traits to a country with warm people such as Mexico. The people here are so warm. And we come from a place to where you walk down the street, you don't even look at the person next to you, especially like in New York. In the South, this is a totally different vibe. I have people speaking to me, how is your mom? And I'm like, me? How was my mom? Like, do I know you? I don't know you, but how is your mom doing? Like, genuine curiosity to know how my mother is doing. That's how warm these Hispanics, Latinos, whatever you want to call them, Mexicans are. And so what I just like seeing is that when we come here, we still have this cold energy from America, and we're not seeing how we're projecting that energy onto Hispanics, because there's a lot of, back and forth about colonialism, gentrifications, and things like that, where yes, I can see that because we're being so standoffish in these people's country because we're so used to not speaking. And so, yes, I would love to be like that representation of, okay, you may get stares, but did you think about smiling? Did you think about saying hola? Because one, that person may be sitting here wanting to practice their English, and they don't know how to initiate that conversation because they're not confident in their English. Just like you're not confident as a person, they're not confident in their English. And the minute you smile, hola, man, to where I have to tell people, lo siento, no español. I'm so sorry. you know, like I don't know Spanish, you know, but they're so, once I say that hola and I look them in their face and I smile, da 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 da.
It's a change. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Well,
change. And so I would love.
I want us to continue this conversation, maybe in another, platform as well, because I feel like, the more that, and after having heard you, speak on this, it just intrigues me even more. And I know that there are many people out there that really need to get some of this information and help. And like you said, they probably don't even realize it. So I'm going to leave your information below this video so that those that want to reach out to you personally, they can reach out and say, hey, I saw you and what's up, and
Yes.
you and I are going to make plans to maybe do something else to get the word out there about you and just, and I know that there's a lot of people that really don't know where to begin. And it's so beautiful to know that people like yourself are out here that are going to hold their hand and say, all right, here's what you're going to do. And I love you for it. Hugs. And I pray that, that you receive many, 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 many blessings for what you're doing. And it's just, so wonderful to know that there's people that really do care. And the veterans in our country are people that have long been overlooked and underlooked, and
especially Black veterans.
And it's so nice to know that, that help is out there. So thank you so much. Ardrina, I'm not saying goodbye because we're going to be together again, but we're going to.
I know, Tiny.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers to you too, and enjoy your life. And thank you so much for stopping by.
Yes, girl. Like, listen, it's the live. Okay.
Yes, you get your drink.
Yes, I went to the gym today. My guns is coming in. Like,
all right,
it's the life. So thank you. We will be in touch.
Thank you. All righty.